Well, 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 Professor. I have to admit I'm disappointed to see you here. I wouldn't expect much less from your colleagues. But you, a learned soul of science and reason, the papers, the novels, everything points to you being so much smarter than being caught red-handed in a murder. Well, I assumed you would deny it. I've brought a few little things for show and tell, though, Professor. Do you recognize this? Don't get smart with me, Professor. Of course it's a knife. Not just any knife, though. We found it. At the scene of the crime. Or what we assume was the scene of the crime. He's been missing for over 48 hours now. And the night he went missing, 6 people just happened to be at his house together, and 6 items just happened to be found in his house with amounts of blood, his blood, on them. Seems rather suspicious, doesn't it? So you are trying to tell me you've never seen this knife before? That doesn't surprise me. What? For someone who spends all their time indoors studying, a knife is a brutish weapon with blood. It requires strength. Unless, of course, you have precision. And a person of your wisdom would certainly know where to stab once and be done. Oh no, I'm just postulating. I don't think that you actually knifed him. It doesn't seem like you. Yes, we've spoken to your comrades. None of them seem to recognize the knife either. Well, that's alright. I have a lot more to show you, Professor. I know, because we've tested it. You're not stupid. You don't have to see blood to know there has been blood. Fine. If a knife's not your style, Professor. We found this in the dining room. Somewhere you claimed to be that evening. Also, with trace amounts of his blood on it. It's not conclusive yet. But I'm sure that when we get the labs back, your skin will be all over the sides of it. It does require a little strength, yes. But if you can catch someone by surprise, it's over. Just sneak up behind them. I don't have a lot of strength myself. All I'd have to do was loop it in the back and pull as hard as I could. You don't think you'd be capable of that? Psychologically or physically? I'm sure. Well, I can only imagine a few reasons why there would be blood on a rope in a man's house, none of them being very pleasant. So, am I to believe that you've never seen this rope either? Even though it was found in the same room you claimed to be in at the time of his disappearance? No, we haven't found the body. But I wouldn't be surprised to see bruises all over his neck. I don't think so. We've spoken to them. Oh, yes. She claims that you were in the hall at the time, whereas you say you were in the dining room. No one else has corroborated that story. But it wouldn't get much to make them. I hear you're not well liked among your colleagues and even among your friends. They call you stuck up, obsessed. Some of them even call you evil. But a person with that much knowledge can hardly be anything but. No, unfortunately, none of them have nice things to say about you. Which is why you're even here in the first place, Professor. I have something else to show you, don't worry. Don't try to leave on me so quickly. Now, Professor, you're an intelligent man. Can you tell me why I found a lead pipe in the middle of a billiard room? Funny. There didn't seem to be any plumbing problems with the house. But who could have snuck a lead pipe into a party full of people? It would have had to be someone crafty, don't you think? Oh, if I were going to off someone, this would be the way. There's so much carnal pleasure in smacking someone over the head with a heavy object, don't you think, Professor? Especially if the stories of your rivalry are true. Oh, everyone knows about that. I do wonder why he would invite you to a party if he hated you so. But I question even more. Why would you go to a party if you hated him? Well, I'm under the impression that none of them liked you much either. Professor, we spoke to the Colonel, and he had a few choice words to say about you. Would you like to hear them? Two-faced. Oh, no, there was more. Would you like me to go on? a liar and a cheat, slimy, evil, mean. Well, you can see why I brought you in now. And you thought he was your friend. So, you wouldn't be caught dead with a lead pipe, I assume. I can't show you the others. They're still in the labs for testing. A candlestick. A heavy one. Almost as good as a lead pipe for hitting someone on the head. A wrench. That I suppose if there were plumbing problems, there would be a reason for it to be out. Oh, and you can't have a good murder mystery without a revolver. Yes. And many of the people there said they heard a gunshot. Did you, Professor? And where were you? And where were you when you heard the gunshot? Will Miss Scarlet be able to corroborate that? Well, she'll be after you then. Yes, we spoke to the maid first, Professor. She claims to have been in the conservatory with you part of the night. But she has no idea where you were when she heard the gunshot. Suspicious, considering she seemed to know where everybody else was. I don't care how learned a person is. The truth doesn't come from the wise. The wise know how to manipulate it. Someone like Miss White is the perfect person to give the truth. And I believe her, unlike you, Professor. So you don't own a revolver? That doesn't surprise me. Especially considering the revolver belonged to Mr. Body. You wouldn't have to bring your own revolver. He had one right there for you. Oh, of course not. Never shot anything in your life. Don't even know how to use a gun. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised while you were studying at Oxford. Who would have had time to learn how to shoot a gun? Of course. Silly me. So you're telling me that you preferred the more brutal methods? Oh yes, he said lots more. The Colonel was quite sure you did it, Professor. Yes. Along with his colorful choice of words to describe your personality. He claims that, as well as being Mr. Body's rival, you had threatened his life before. Well, he is a colonel. I'm certainly more prone to believe him than you. Someone who spent their life learning how to weave a good lie in a university. She told me the same thing. I'm afraid nobody seems to think that it was anyone but you. And you know what she told me? The professor did it in the billiard room with the revolver.